Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Hardwood Nation podcast with your boy, CL Anthony. And we have a guest today, my main man, Cortez Paul from the Balls in Your Court podcast. What is going on, Cortez?
CL, good morning. How you doing, sir? I'm not a morning person, but there's only a few people come on the segment in the morning. You're one of those people, so feel honored, my brother. I should be getting some sleep right now.
I tell one, we've known each other for damn near 20 years now. I think has been 20 years. And I always tell Cortez he need to wake his ass up in the morning. Like, wake up so we can get this shit done. You know what I'm saying?
I'm
So,
just such a night person, man.
yeah. Okay. So today we're going to dedicate this podcast to one Shaquille O'Neal, who on Tuesday will be the first ever former Orlando Magic player to have his jersey retired. So that's what me and Cortez are going to chop it up about today. Of course, we keep it raw, we keep it real. This is unscripted. He has no idea what I'm going to ask him. So we're going to get started. So, Cortez, tell me your earliest memory of Shaquille coming to Orlando.
So I was 8 years old, and Shaq, of course, being drafted to the city. Um, it meant a lot to a franchise that's was new to the NBA and particularly new. So for us to get the first round draft pick and potentially that was going to be an all consensus all NBA player in the running that is going to be on your team. Super exciting. Personality coming to back up with it. So it was just cool to see a larger than life figure play for your favorite basketball team at that point in time. So
Yeah, absolutely. And the Magic were new then. Of course, the Heat were new. They came in a year apart in the late 80s. Um, I can tell you from what I can remember growing up in Central Florida, at that time before Shaq came to Orlando, people wasn't talking about the Orlando Magic. Okay. And I'm talking about just my friend group in Central Florida. Everyone was Chicago Bulls fans, Michael Jordan fans. That's what it was. We had WGN down here. Everybody was watching Bulls games. This was before, the NBA.
yeah, right.
Made when Shaq hit Orlando. Um, I remember my grandmother used to sell Avon, and she had it was like a VHS set of Shaquille O'Neal coming to Orlando. Dude, I had that for years. It was so weird. Um,
Did you?
yeah, I really did, bro. I kid you not, I really did. Did you think at that time? I know you said you were around 8 years old. Did you think
Mhm.
at that time that Shaq would be one of the cornerstones of that franchise for years to come?
I mean, at that point in time, you just see this guy who's bigger than life, and at least from what I'm not saying this as an 8 year, I'm saying this from now. Back in the past, big man was the one that kind of run the NBA. So you had a solid big man, you had a chance to compete. So seeing, a bigger than life figure as we got Shaq, because at the time there's Alonzo Mourning that's in the league, there's Patrick Ewing that's in the league, Hakeem Olajuwon's in the league. Um, Jordan was the one that kind of like killed that theory, but he went against these Goliath type of dudes. But for the most part, in that concept, you just think you got a big guy, and so that would help. So the 8 year old me, I'm like, oh, okay, we got this bigger figure in the team, and he's really good. So you just decided as a kid to see someone step on. So as breaking it down now as like a 39-year-old, just an 8 year old kid, I'm just decided that I see a guy that's big and really just gonna put Orlando on the map. And now you see Orlando get all these TV games, national TV games. So even as a kid, that's how I watched them. I didn't. They was on national TV. I didn't know how to assess Sunshine Network back then. I just see them on TV. My dad was watching them.
Right.
So and that's why I just became a fan of the team. Walking around middle school, like my neighbor was a Pacers fan.
Really?
I was yeah, Elliot Rice. Uh, I was, a Magic fan. There was another kid I grew up with that was a Bulls fan. We had a kid that was a Knicks fan, so it was just always fun just repping those teams. This 8-year-old kid that was a Knicks fan, he was from New York. He just happened to move down to Florida, but he was rocking his Patrick Ewing look champion jersey. So it was just cool to see, man, when we had these little backyards like playing basketball, and we'll shout out like Shaq and Penny, and one of my friends shout out Miller Time, and it was just, it brings back memory as a kid, just seeing someone that can represent your team. But as a kid, you're like super excited because you can have that conversation like, oh, I'm in this conversation now, I can talk like my team is good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. Within 2 years of being there, the Magic were powerhouses in the Eastern Conference, and challenging, knocking on the door to maybe becoming NBA champions. So I want to go to the 1995 NBA Finals. Jordan had just came back, but the Magic beat them. And then the Magic, I believe, beat the Pacers and got to the finals to go, to face off against the veteran Houston Rockets. What were your memories of that playoff run leading up to the finals?
Man, I just remember being excited that because, the year before, this team was a first round. We lost in the first round. This is Shaq's second season. We got Penny that was in the fold. Yeah. So now you got all this talent that's coming around, like, man, so we can really do it. And because we make that jump when we added Horace Grant. So it's like, man, like we really putting pieces around that we can probably do something this year. So it was just that whole run. Remember as a kid, man, walking around. This is where I was like going to middle school now. I had my Orlando Magic 24K gold shirt. And I was just super excited, just talking like, yeah, man, you see us. So it was just, I just know just from being in, Polk County growing up as a Magic fan, and CL, you can attest to this. I'm pretty sure you have seen this. There, when Shaq was here, there was plenty of Magic fans.
Yes, yes.
There was plenty. Yes. And when he left, not so much. So.
Well, it came back a couple of years later when T-Mac.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was kind of pride when T-Mac came because Polk County's on.
Right.
But for the most part, man, it was the run to the finals, man, was just cool to see as a kid. I couldn't really embrace it as a kid. I know it was cool to say that, but just seeing them on TV as opposed when I saw them as going to the finals as an adult. I definitely going back and watching like film and video on that stuff was just to see the run was just cool, man. Like the whole documentary, this Magic moment, just that just bring back memories, good and bad. So.
Oh yeah, we're gonna touch on that. we're getting there. Don't worry.
I know.
I tell you a funny joke. So when I was a kid, I had a best friend, and he was a big Magic fan too. Of course, he loved Penny. Would always get the new shoes. Had the little Penny doll, whatnot. He told me, he said the only reason the Rockets won that series the way they did is because at the Magic home games, he swear to God, he saw voodoo witch doctors. He called them voodoo witch doctors sitting in the front row. He said it was rooting for Hakeem. I kid you not. And back in the day, when ESPN Classic used to show like the summaries of the games, like little 30-minute summaries of NBA Finals games back in the day.
Yeah,
bro, I swear to God, I was watching one from that series one day years ago, and I saw one of those witch doctors sit on the sideline.
No,
I kid you not, bro. I kid you not. It was the most hilarious.
Now I gotta go back and watch it. Now you gonna make me go back and watch it. You gonna make me go back and watch that.
It was hilarious. All right, so the Magic, of course, went to the finals, lost in 4 games to the Houston Rockets. I believe they never had a chance to begin with in that series because that Rocket team was just loaded and coming off of the previous year's championship. I fight with people all the time about this. They say, well, if Michael would have played, the Rockets would have never won 2 championships. I always say this about that. Michael Jordan never faced a team consistently that had a great center in the NBA Finals. When he did face a team with a great center leading up to the finals, they would always give him problems. The Orlando Magic and the New York Knicks. Just throwing that out there. Bill Winnington, Luke Longley could not have done anything with Hakeem the Dream Olajuwon. Just saying.
Nah, listen, you got a point. I mean, that's
Just
a fair
saying.
point.
It's a fair point. Look, the Utah Jazz, they had Greg Ostertag. Okay. That he was their starting center. The Seattle Supersonics had Sam Perkins as their starting center and Eric Montross. Let's see who else they played. The Phoenix Suns, Oliver fucking Miller. Okay. The Portland Trailblazers, Kevin Ducksworth. The Los Angeles Lakers, a younger Vlade Divac. Get the fuck out of here. Michael never faced a great center in the finals. Just saying. Okay? Just saying. So, with that said, the next year, rumors started circulating that maybe the Magic wasn't on the same page. Shaquille was facing free agency. There is a rift between him and Penny Hardaway. Do you remember the year after the finals run, some of the issues that was going on with the team? A very young team and still one of the best starting fives I've ever seen in the NBA.
Yeah, I want to say, to me personally, just kind of looking back on it now, I think Penny stardom kind of like interfered with that. Shaq always had this. Listen, Shaq is fantastic, but Shaq has an ego that likes to be fed at times. Once you take some of that spotlight off him, which this is crazy because this is the guy that he wanted instead of us trying to go get Chris Webber. You know, he vouched for him when they played in the movie Blue Chips, like, hey, we got to draft this guy. Whatever it takes to get this guy, draft him. Because obviously you see the talent there. But, you know, it's basketball and sports in general, man. You really got to manage egos, star players. It's just sometimes it just got to make sense, man. And as talented as Shaq and Penny was, man, and Penny, who is this quiet self and seeing these little Penny commercials and the little shine that Penny is getting, man. So I mean, it's probably just natural to be like, okay, well, you know, I'm Shaq, man. I'm the one that, you know, it's initially was me that started getting this franchise on the up and rising. Penny is there to contribute and help me. He's absolutely a star talent player that we have, and we have 3D, we have Nick Anderson, we have Horace Grant. Like, we got pieces like that's around here. So it's just trying to a team that has so much success, so much spotlight on them, and it's easy to just like kind of lose track of like what needs to happen. So just trying to manage those egos probably was just like was start to be the downfall of that particular Magic team. So I just think for the most part, because, you know, hey, listen, I'm from it. I think you the same way, CL. We all eat, bro. We all eat.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is. Like, the thing is, I get this endorsement deal. I get paid. You know, I put on your podcast. You put on my podcast. It's not all about trying to shine out each other and stuff like that. I mean, I know that's easy to say from a standpoint as we're doing content, but as them trying to play a sport together and manage those egos, I have to imagine that's probably a little tough, man.
Yeah, I remember that off season before the split happened. Both of those guys were on Dream Team 3. And for the people who don't know their history that thinks that's Dream Team 2, no. It was Dream Team 3, okay? Because some people don't know that. They think that's Dream Team. The 96 team was Dream Team 3. And there was talk. They were like, okay, so both these guys are on the Olympic team. And there's even talks that they're not getting along then. There was talks if Shaq was going to stay in Orlando or if Shaq was going to leave. So shortly after Dream Team 3 won the gold medal in Atlanta, the bomb hit. So I just want to ask you first your initial feelings when the Los Angeles Lakers swooped in and got Shaquille O'Neal, and then we will go into the specifics that was revealed in that magic moment. So what was your initial thought when the bomb dropped?
So this is when I was 10 years old, man. And at the time, you know, I'm growing up in my household, and my dad's a big Lakers fan, and so I really remember him talking to me like for like weeks coming up. No, you're gonna get Shaq. It's like, no, y'all not. No, y'all not. Here I am, a 10-year-old kid. You getting Shaq. You know, I just remember that. Mm-hmm. So free agency is around the time of my birthday. You know, kid you not, July 19th. My dad walks in with the paper and says, "Son, you see what I say?" I came in there shell shocked. It was on my birthday. I'm ready to open up gifts. My mom is cooking and stuff like that. 10 years old on my birthday, my dad brings in the paper and shows me this. And he asked the infamous question. He asked this question. And CL, you already heard the story numerous times, so I'm gonna tell it again. Tell it again. My dad says, "So what's the choice now, son? Are you gonna be a Magic fan or are you gonna be a Lakers fan?" Tears going down my face. I chose the Orlando Magic. And I vowed to never root for Shaq again. That was the time on my birthday, my 10th birthday, I am not rooting for this damn guy again. And ever since then, Shaq has just been on my shit list.
Okay, I got it.
This is what you
want.
I
got it. So with that said, of course, a lot of us didn't know the specifics then because internet was just getting started. We just didn't know a lot of the information now. Okay. When that Magic moment came out, then the story was really told that, you know, the Magic came to Shaq with a deal. It was between $84 or $88 million, something like that.
Yeah.
Alonzo Mourning in Miami had just got around 120. Shaq was drafted 1, Mourning was drafted 2. Shaq went back to the Magic and was like, wait a minute. This guy just got that. You know, we need to rework these numbers here. My memory's a little laxed here. Do you remember what the Magic came back with?
I think it was a shade under that because he wanted more than Mourning.
Yes,
that's for sure. He wanted more. So I want to say they didn't go more. They just kind of got to like the 100 million. Shaq still feel disrespected as he should, he should. Let's be on word. He should. Yes. This is the guy that literally just dragged your team to to the finals in his third year. He was the main reason. Listen, Orlando's sitting at the time, and I can say this this is ongoing today. Orlando beat writers are trash. Like they're except for Josh Robbins. Josh Robbins was the only
Josh is cool.
Really, he was the only good beat writer in Orlando. He did not care. He'll challenge you on certain stuff. He challenged Dwight on certain stuff. Even he'll go at Stan Van Gundy. He'll go at all these. He went at Steve Clifford. Like he does not care. We got all these writers that's like. John Denton was the one. He's where Orlando calls. He asks these soft, puffy questions. Like, no, go at these guys. Go at them. We want answers. Josh Robbins was the only one that did that. And so for us to like, oh, we put in this poll, like, is Shaq worth this money? Come on, man. Like, and then honestly, for me, listen, once again, Shaq ego is fragile. Certain people be like, man, or whatever. Like, I'm not gonna care what people say about me. No, Shaq cares. Shaq cares. Shaq cares about his image and his what he looked like in the limelight and everything like that. So it bothered him, and it should have. This Magic moment did clear it up, but Orlando, on their part, did botch the ball, and Horace Grant should have picked up the call.
So with that said, I believe the Lakers swooped in. Shaq got between like 124 and 126, somewhere in there. And that was all she wrote at that point. So my question for you is, knowing what you know now from that documentary versus what you knew then, did that not change your mind to kind of be like, maybe I should let go of some of this hate that I have for Shaquille O'Neal?
Listen, in a sense that it did break down, that I do admit that Orlando did botch how they handle things. Absolutely. Absolutely they have. Like, Shaq continues to respond and kind of still crap on Orlando in different points of the time.
It's gotten better.
Cannot let that go. It's gotten better. It's gotten better. It's gotten better. So, but Shaq, when he left, oh, I need a bigger pond for me to both be in and stuff like that. I know he probably said that because he was salty. That's fine. But like, dude, you got paid. You got bigger money. You're in a bigger city to help your endorsement deals.
Mm-hmm.
Move on, man. Move on. Dwight came along, and Dwight is doing particularly well. And Kenny Smith with Charles Barkley has said, yeah, that new arena, that's the arena that Dwight Howard built. I built that arena. No, you built the arena. Dwight built Amway Center, which is now Kia Center now. He built that. And Shaq was throwing salt because guess what? There's another Magic player that's possibly getting more shine than he is, and he's not the face of the franchise anymore. He's not the face. Dwight is. Dwight is the one that is being put on these, and he's the next big face. Superman, I guess maybe he's mad about the Superman tag or whatnot.
He was.
Listen, Dwight, I thought Shaq was still. So Dwight, who got a physical physique, who looked like Superman, or at least a black Superman, dude, come on, man. And you got mad about the cape and it's over Orlando. So just Shaq kind of stabs at the franchise here and there, just throwing salt on the name. That's what's irritating. Like a lot of this, if Shaq would have just let this go, cool. I probably eventually, but like, and it just opened up wounds. CL, like I hear this and be like, oh yeah, it's just man, Shaq, come on, bro. Like I already don't like. Now you don't say this again, bro. Like, bro, just shut up, bro. Like nobody want to hear this, man. So it's just one of those. Knowing what I know now, I can admit. I say this all the time. Shaq is the most dumbest big man player to play this game. Shaq will always go down as probably one of the best big men to play this game. He helped put Orlando where we are today, but also we've been put into rebuilds because of this, man. Orlando was threatened to move to Kansas City at one point. It wasn't for Dwight Howard,
right? Or Tampa.
We could have been. Orlando could have been gone. So yes, if Shaq said I put Orlando on the map, they've been dug 6 feet under for like years, man. We're laughed at. We're a laughing franchise, bro. We get laughed at all the time. So now that we're on the come up again and we have talent, and make sure we do it right this time. And I think this management staff will do it right this time. I'm putting faith in them that they will. It's not going to be perfect, but we got 8 years with Paulo and Franz. So let's see what we can do with them. And it was big on them to say, hey, I remember in the interview with Franz and Paulo, they're big on seeing like players getting recognized and seeing numbers retire. So I think this is why we're gearing towards to retiring Shaq's jerseys, to kind of show that, hey, this is in the midst. And I think there's talks of other players behind following Shaq.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Shaq's numbers should be retired. I just don't think it should be the first.
Well, that's where we're going. That's where we're going next. So thanks to my co-host Bryce, because Bryce was keeping me in the loop on this. There has been a rift amongst some Magic fans as far as should Shaq have been first, or should Nick Anderson maybe have been first, being the first draft pick in the Orlando Magic history. Let me say this. I know you know this. Our viewers don't know this per se, but with both of us growing up in Central Florida, again, without league pass when we were younger, there was only 2 teams you could watch the most of, the Chicago Bulls and the Orlando Magic. That was it. So as far as the history of the Orlando Magic, I will put my history with watching the Magic up against the biggest Magic fan. I'm very comfortable doing that, okay? And when me and Bryce had this funny debate, I told Bryce, I said, I'm not going to go on Twitter and debate any Magic fan who doesn't know who Tree Rollins is. I'm not having that conversation with him. I'm not. Y'all
don't know Tree Rollins?
I'm not doing it. These Magic fans on Twitter, if you don't know who the fuck Tree Rollins is, who grew up next to my grandmother, by the way, we're not having that conversation. What's that back there?
Get out. I'm just pointing at the door. Get out.
Right.
You don't know Tree Rollins?
It was funny, and I didn't expect Bryce to know, but Bryce didn't know who Tree Ross was. I'm like, yeah, dude, he grew up right next to my grandmother. Like, I saw Tree all the time. Like, come on.
Oh man.
With that said, I believe Shaq absolutely should have the first jersey to be retired in that franchise. And I also believe that they did it too late, because it doesn't make any sense that the Lakers did it, Miami did it, and now the Magic did it. The Magic should have been the first franchise to do it. But that's neither here nor there. Who do you think should have had the first jersey retired?
I'm on board with Nick Anderson, man. I think Shaq eventually should get retired. Don't get me wrong. I think Shaq eventually should get retired. Mm-hmm. Nick Anderson is still involved in the franchise. He's a community ambassador. He is going to these events. I just got done talking to Nick Anderson at one of these watch parties. Nick Anderson's in the midst of the Magic fans, and it's Nick is really just like a regular guy now. We just see him so much that he's chop it up with you and have conversations and know your name. I'm like, Nick knows who I am. Talk to me at all these draft parties, man. Like, we were just talking about his son playing football.
Okay.
Just him being involved in the community and what he has done. And listen, not saying Shaq, we can look it up. Shaq has done plenty. He has done a lot for a lot of people in Central Florida. He has. Absolutely he has. And I just think with his face and involvement, 25 personally should have been first. Shaq should have been second. Just saying that we show that respect to him. And I think Nick will eventually come, because I'm looking at some guys right here getting their jersey retired. Like, Nick should get his jersey retired. Just the stature what he means to Orlando. You're not wrong, CL. I mean, based on what is Shaq accolades and everything like that, and what he has meant to this friend, absolutely. I mean, it's a worthy debate. But for what Nick is being the first draft pick and what he continues to still do in the Central Florida community amongst Orlando and Magic fans and stuff like that, in my opinion, I will go with Nick Anderson.
Hopefully, you're not talking about the captain, number 40, Udonis Haslem, having his jersey recently retired for the Miami Heat. Hopefully, you're not doing that to another Florida boy, okay? I'm just throwing that out there. I'm just doing that out there.
Yeah.
He put in 20 years. But here's my issue with, and this is not against you, because I know you're a real one, okay? So these up and coming young Magic fans, here's my issue with the Nick Anderson argument. The majority of people who are pushing for Nick Anderson to be your first jersey retired were the same people who pushed Nick Anderson out of Orlando. Let's just be clear on that. So that's where I have a problem with that, because Nick Anderson was public enemy number 1 in Orlando for a couple of years before he was pushed out, and then he was out of
Sacramento, right?
I think it was Minnesota. No, 3D went to Minnesota. I forgot where he went.
I think he went to Sacramento. It was Sacramento.
Okay, but he was out of the league soon after. He could never recover from that. So in his post NBA career, yeah, you could say he's face of the franchise along with Bo Outlaw, but Bo Outlaw's not going to get his jersey retired.
Okay. No, love Bo,
but no, real. Yeah, let's be real. But that's my issue with some of these people who are capping hard for Nick Anderson. It's like, well, where were you 20 years ago when this man's career was ruined by a big majority of the Magic fans and the Magic writers at that time? So that's my only pushback with that. So I think Shaq should be first, then Dwight, then Nick Anderson, even before T-Mac, then Nick Anderson. You could put T-Mac in there. Who I won't put in there is Penny.
I about to say, you're not even retiring Penny?
No.
No one. No. Just two short injuries. That's what it is. Maybe
he had it for 1 year. He had it for 1 year. Right after Shaq left, Penny had the franchise for 1 year. They went to the playoffs, but that was it. Fell apart after that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So what do you?
Suns and just disappeared.
Right. Had that micro fracture, and that was it. What do you say to the Magic fans that do believe Shaq should be the first one? Because I'm going to tell you, I know 3 of y'all. 2 of the 3 think Shaq should be the first one. You're the only one in the minority. So Gerald and Bryce thinks, yeah, Shaq should be the first one. So I know Gerald's going to be at the game. You're going to be at the game. So me and you have already had a conversation about this, but I want the viewers to hear how you're going to handle that game coming up on Tuesday.
Oh, listen, the plan is simple. I listen. The fact that they already done put the ceremony at the end of the game, perfect. I'm gone. I'm getting a jersey. I might sell it on eBay. I'm gone, man. I'm catching the train. I'm going to go to the bar early. I am not standing there and watching that ceremony. And then if they say that, oh, you gotta stay and get the jersey, I'm good. I'm good. Listen, I CL and every person that has ever watched this show and anybody that watched content, I'm 39 years old, 38, be 39 in July. Yes, you are supposed to let things go. I admit that. I do let a lot of things go. 99.9%, I just like, whatever. It's 0.1. It's 0.1. And I'm going to tell you why it's 0.1. Because it's you know what they say? They say jealousy is confused admiration. It's confused admiration because Shaq has went to the Lakers and Heat and won them titles.
Yes.
I have seen this man won championships elsewhere as the pretty much the guy. And at least for Wade case, he was within the midst, but then Mourning had a better playoffs here. But for the point, he was there to be number two. Right. I know CL can go on that tangent, all that. I have seen this guy win elsewhere and won titles. This is why I don't like the Lakers and the Heat, because where he went. If he was even with the Cavs and as a journeyman and the Cavs somehow won the title, I would not like the Cleveland Cavaliers. No. Now listen, I have a respectful conversation with CL and Kevin because they're Heat fans and stuff like that. And that's why I say I respect them, because we have respectful conversations. But I listen, it's because of Shaq, man. Every sport that I root for except this one, and this is my baby. CL knows me, man. We've been friends for like 20 years. He said before the cast, basketball is near and dear to my heart. I am treated like a little brother, like the Clippers versus the Lakers when it comes to Heat and Magic. Did you hear at the beginning of the podcast? You had to remind me that I go down there and drove 4 hours to watch my Magic catch an L when the Heat was on a losing streak, and we actually had like, okay, we're gonna catch them slipping. No.
They woke up.
Yeah, exactly. Which they get up for the Magic. The players do. They do. Yeah. Jimmy Butler did it too small. I was like, yeah, he likes playing the Magic. Nonetheless, man, Shaq is the greatest. He is the greatest big man that ever played this game. He put on the uniform for the Magic. He is. Listen, the guy lead 3 categories in Magic history: blocks per game, per win shares. He is 4th in field goals attempted. He is 3rd in rebounds, 2nd in blocks, 6th in points. All that within his short tenure with the Magic. He is
4 years.
He did this, man. Like, to be 6th in points in 4 years. Bush's our point leader now. He's been with the Magic for like 9 to 10 before he got traded to the Bulls.
Right.
So, as and Bryce want to say, hey, it's the first one retired. Cool, man. I'm not gonna knock their opinion. And I told our friends, I'm not gonna knock their opinion, man. It shouldn't be me. But as I tell you, I'm going to the event. Cool, it's gonna be. And the thing is, I'm a season ticket holder. They sent an email to me talking about, hey, we'll buy back your ticket and you get 150% bonus in Magic. No, I'm gonna go watch the game. Listen, Orlando has not had a national televised games in 2 years. So right. I'm gonna be in attendance. Kevin Harlan is gonna be there. Stan Van Gundy is gonna be there. I'm excited. Listen, it's a big thing. We got Chet Hogan coming to town, SGA coming to town. It's still gonna be a good basketball game.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the fact that they said they're gonna do it at the end of the game, oh, you just did me a favor. You just did me a favor. I ain't gotta sit through halftime and watch this mess. I ain't gotta sit here and be mad for no reason. The game come back on the third quarter. I'm just mad because I see this dude jersey up in the rafters. Man, get me out of here, man. I see that thing back when we play the Knicks. Just sit there and I see the jersey up there. Then
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sitting around for that mess, man. Get me out of there, bro.
Let me say this: the one thing I'm upset about, because I know TNT is going to cover the game. Don't get me wrong; I'm never going to turn down a chance to watch SGA. He's phenomenal.
Absolutely.
This is what's making me mad.
Merchant, but yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because I don't know if TNT is going to cover the retirement. Now they should, but I don't know if they're going to allot that extra time to do so. Where we know if there is on, Fox Sports Sun or whatever the fuck they call it now, Bally's, whatever the fuck they call it now.
Yeah, Bally's, yeah.
They would have, well, shit's gonna be called Amazon soon, but they would have done so. So I don't know how I don't know how TNT is gonna coverage, because I do want to watch it. I did tell Gerald, I said, yeah, Cortez said this after the game. He was like, what? I'm gonna want to go home. Like he's gonna stay to watch it, but he has to wake up early in the morning. So he's like, damn, I want to stay after the game, but he's gonna stay after the game. So I know that you're not going to stay. I know if Bryce was going, he would stay as well. So I'm going to ask you one final question, and then we're going to wrap it up. As of right now, who would you say is the greatest player in the history of the Orlando Magic franchise?
Oh, it's simple. It's Dwight Howard. And I'm going to tell you why it's Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard, listen, Dwight Howard, I would say this: the best Magic player is what you asking? The best Magic player, right?
The best Magic player in the history of the franchise, yes. Not totality of career, but playing for the Magic.
Yeah, listen, if Shaq would play 8 years for Orlando, it's easily Shaq. Mm-hmm. Dwight longevity, he played with us, dude, and we. It's crazy. I know Dwight's got a lot of stuff going on in his personal life right now, and eventually he will get his jersey retired. There's just too much noise around Dwight right now. But this man was a 3-time defensive player of the year. This dude literally carried. I love Jameer, but Jameer Nelson, your second option at one point scoring the ball. I love Jameer. I love him. Rashard Lewis and Hedo Turkoglu is just talented wings. So they really started this new kind of phrase of NBA space and pace. Dwight, there was times when I seen Dwight, man, we played the Knicks back in like 2010. We had no business winning that game, but Dwight literally shut down the restricted zone area. They didn't make, it was like a 33% field goal percentage in there. And I'm watching that live like, dude, this is dominant defensive performance, man. And then to end this question too, Dwight won a finals game. He won one.
Ouch.
He won one. Shaq didn't win one for the Magic. So, and honestly, if that was a goaltend on Paul Gasol, Dwight should have two. And I know before we wrap it up, and this is the end part, but hey, this was CL. He won an uncut on Raw.
Yeah.
This is where it's at.
Yeah.
Jameer Nelson torched the Lakers that year. He was the only guard before he had that shoulder injury that had 50, 90, and 40. And he killed the Lakers that year. It happened. He had a separate show against the Dallas game. And I say this all the time. I know Magic fan like, we should have. Well, listen, Rayford Austin started. That wasn't the problem. He started. Jameer came off the bench and he closed the game. But I am taking the threat of Jameer Nelson every time because I don't know what I could have got. I didn't want to be left wondering, well, we didn't play Jameer when we know he averaged 28 points in those two games against the Lakers. Lakers could not guard point guards that year. They could not guard point guards that year. Derek Fisher was a traffic home. They could not guard point guards. Look at their point guard matchup. They got killed every time. And Jameer torched them. So I would absolutely take that chance of playing Jameer Nelson against the Lakers. That's why I try to get in the Magic fans' head like Rayford Austin and all that. Well, you're playing a Cavs team that's different than the Lakers. The Lakers got size. But guess what? You can spread them out with Jameer Nelson. They got to go ahead and spread their defense a little bit more. What can you do, man? What can you do? So I run that tangent. But no, I think to me, obviously, if Shaq would have played the more tenure, because it's literally to me, it's the Dwight, Shaq, T-Mac. Our 3 recognized manager and facer. I love Penny too. Penny's one of my favorite players, but just injuries derail his career, stuff like that. And honestly, bro, like Vucevic deserved this discussion to be in there. Like
a little bit of love, yeah.
A little bit of love. And I'm gonna give some love to Vooch because guess what? Everybody like, well, Vooch did that. Well, Vooch had to carry Aaron Gordon, who didn't live up to the expectations.
NBA champion Aaron Gordon. Okay.
Yeah, NBA champion Aaron Gordon as a 4th option, as I like to add, by the way. But fantastic player. He never lived to his expectations. Vooch deferred to AG all the time, but AG just couldn't take over. Evan Fournier is his running mate. And so, listen, at the time where Victor Oladipo and we had a choice between Victor Oladipo and Evan Fournier, Victor Oladipo at the time was a better player, but Evan Fournier was cheaper. Victor Oladipo wanted $120 million. Evan wanted.
Breaking news. Breaking news.
What's that?
Indiana's going to trade Buddy Hield to the 76ers. I don't know who just yet.
Oh, that's
nasty. For the Sixers, that's nasty. That's nasty.
That's a good move. But yeah, those are in my debate. That should be the top 4, and Vooch got his right in history. And I'm praying like Vooch at the end of his career come back and close with the Magic. That whole Bulls press conference had me in tears, man. Cam texted me that day, yo, you all right?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
You like, Tate, you all right? I was like, bro, I said, I don't know what it's about Vooch, man, but I just got a certain attachment to that guy, man. I love that guy.
Because that was a mid-season trade. That was at the trade deadline, I believe, or somewhere close to it. One more thing I'll say, because I know we got to wrap up. Bryce did say he could make the argument that Dwight Howard could have had the first jersey retired for the Magic, and for similar reasons to what you said as far as Dwight being the best player in the history of the Magic. And I told him, I said, Bryce, you have a point, but if Dwight Howard would have had his jersey retired before Shaquille O'Neal, the burial that you think Shaquille has given the Magic for the last 25 to 30 years would have been 10 times worse had they chosen Dwight Howard. He would have burnt that city down. He would have absolutely burnt that city down. Yeah.
Bro, you know what? I didn't even think about that. And you absolutely right. Because the way he crap on Dwight, and Dwight's the first dude, oh my God. It would you right, Cam. You absolutely right. It would have been bad.
It would have been bad.
I think he would have accepted Nick Anderson, but
Dwight. Not Dwight.
No. Oh, dude. That would have been bad. Oh, CL, you just got my gears grinding.
I'm telling you,
I want Dwight to go first.
It would have been weapons of mass destruction dropped on Orlando had they picked Dwight Howard over Shaq. Yeah, absolutely.
Good call out, CL. That's good, bro.
So on that note, we're gonna wrap up this special episode of the Hardwood Nation podcast. Cortez, tell the people where they can find you at.
Absolutely, man. Y'all can find me on X. It's at @CP. Apparently, I made a couple of television appearances, so you see me pop on Match Telecast. So I don't know how they keep finding me, but they keep finding me. But yeah, man, subscribe to the podcast. See, we're gearing down, wind down football season, so now I'm gonna be going to basketball. So CL, we make an appearance on the Balls Not Court podcast, but BIOC podcast on YouTube. But also always support the Hardwood Nation, man. I'm always a big fan of them, and CL's a brother to me, man. So always much love between me and my big brother. So
yeah, because he's always going to play the little brother role, but that might change in a couple of years. I'm just saying, in a couple of years it might change. God, when I saw you. I was sitting there having dinner, and I saw you sitting there in that fucking jersey in the Miami Arena. I said, "Look at this asshole." I mean, of all the people, they gonna flash on this dickhead in my house. Okay? They didn't have a key. Broke into my house. Fuck out of here.
Hey, and Blue, I know you like, man, come on, bro. You in my house. Not even put you on camera.
Yeah. I'm sitting there cutting mistake and shit, and I see this. Lord, I almost said something.
Hey, probably don't ruin your appetite, didn't I?
Man, look, that steak was good though.
Damn blue jersey. Get out my room.
I know, I'm
Get
saying
out
what the
my room.
fuck. But
y'all won by big digits, so I can't say anything.
we beat the fuck out of y'all. Anyways, anywho, it's all love. So definitely we want to thank Cortez for being on with us today. For all our fans, please like, subscribe, and share our content. Drop comments below. Tell us that you love us. Tell us that you hate us. We don't care. We always respond to my Orlando Magic fan base. Again, if you don't know who Tree Rollins is, you can't say shit to me. Everyone stay safe, and we are out.